It is such a treat when we have new cutting dies from Dee. It only happens a couple times a year, so we're delighted with these.
And we have 4 new ones to show you. We have flowers, trees, birds. I'm going to show you how to combine them.
Yes, we are. Come play with us. Well, here are the latest from Dianca now.
Beautiful.
Yes.
This one's called The View because it's going to cut through your card front or paper.
It's kind of a window.
That, right? We have mini robins, number 3, and it's got a whole bunch of them all in one pass.
And then we have a floral corner, but Dee wasn't done with that. She wanted to do an individual little flower, so she calls that a flower accent.
And this comes with the cutting die that cuts the flowers and shadows for behind. We'll show you that.
So handy. Okay, we're going to start with the view, okay?
Right.
So now here is pretty close to the image that Dee has on the front. However, it has been added to with those birds, and that just kind of does, I think, a really nice finishing to it.
It is beautiful. The birds, I just want to point out, so you're seeing all of these individual birds because that's what you're going to get. In one pass, you'll get all of those birds because it is one piece.
Right.
And you can't see it under here, but it's all covered with those birds. You just put it through and you get a whole bunch of birds. You only need one for this card.
For this particular card.
But I love that. So this is cut into the card front. Look at that.
Isn't that pretty?
Gorgeous.
And then
I love the shadows.
The inside, wow, look at
so
that.
So pretty. And it looks like, what you're seeing on the back is that it looks like Debbie inked the back to make sure that you could really cover those edges. I think you can do that on the front too. Get a nice look that way. But on the inside, we're using distress inks, mini distress ink sets from Tim Holtz. 2 of them were used, number 7 and number 8. I keep them in one of these handy tins that we sell as well. Really easy to see them, and she was able to pick and choose the colors that she wanted to use. And then you can just use a cosmetic wedge to apply those to that cardstock on the inside.
And the words right here, in this case it's with sympathy and thinking of you, those are from the 130 Tiny Words and Phrases Dazzle. So just a really nice little way to add a message. Okay, so that is doing our birds and our view.
Right.
Here are the birds on a line.
So cute.
The baker's twine line.
This is adorable. So you just got a couple of posts on either side, tie some baker's twine, put that in place, and then just glue them or foam tape them right onto the lines. They're so fun.
I like the one up there, and I think the couple down there is really sweet.
I like that there are different shapes. They're not all the same. Some going this way, some going that way. We've got large birds, small birds, and one sitting up with his tail sticking up in the air. So cute.
Really sweet. And on the inside, why they're nesting onto the words. So very cute. And into the art of the paper.
Of the paper. So the paper is perfect with this.
And this is using our inside-outside dazzles, so that works nicely. Now here is another version, and we're doing the view sideways here, and you have that die cut?
So I have at least one of those here. So there's that sideways. First it was cut using this. I'll show you a little more in just a moment. But
you can also turn it this way. Now, Dee is in Canada. She's just north of us here in Oregon. And I'm really privileged because she'll send me the art before it gets turned into the cutting die. And she and I were talking about what size birds to add to it. And then she mentioned, oh, don't forget, this can go vertically as well as horizontally.
I love that.
Isn't that fun?
So now you can have a vertical card or horizontal, and you've got like a large tree, or you've got, just a tree branch with a lot of that greenery, which is nice. By the way, the greenery was put on there by cutting another image like this. And then Debbie went through this piece. Let's see, let's put that aside. This was left as is. But she went through this piece and cut out the branches.
The branches.
And I didn't need to use anything but just a pair of scissors, and I just snipped and snipped along all of those little edges. And I'm just going to cut. You see, you're cutting it loose from those other pieces. I'm going to cut the end piece here, and down at this end I think I have just one small little snip. That doesn't take long at all. You know, you can use that branch somewhere else if you want to.
I bet you could.
But now we've got this piece that can just be set on top of that piece.
Nice.
Glue it right in place, right on top of there. You're going to match those edges. I'm trying to turn it just to get it right. There you go. glue that in place, and now you've got foliage on top. And then you can just cut around the edge to get right around about an 1/8 inch outside the image to get an oval mat.
Or you could just let it be the front of the card too.
Absolutely, that's another way to do it.
Debbie chose to cut around it, and in this case, the birds, she's got several birds on there, so really sweet. And you talked about what you could do with that branch. Well, here's another way that you can do on the inside of her card. Just really, really sweet.
She also shaped those birds just a little bit, and you've seen me do this before. You can use the Paper Blossoms tools. They have these little stylus, different sizes of styluses on the end. Just turn your little bird over and just go on the back like so. And by doing this, you create a nice little cup shape.
And you make it dance.
And you make it dance, and there you go. Then you just sort of flatten it out a little bit, and then you can just put a little foam tape right in the center, and you have
Just
a little sculptured bird.
Adds a little dimension, doesn't it? Okay, now we're going to move into Dee's flowers, and look at this. Now Susan has taken the one and done it at the top and at the bottom, as you can see, to create a really nice frame.
Right. Now you're looking at those flowers and saying, okay, but I don't really want to cut around the edges and back those flowers.
It's okay, sweetie. We'll take care of that for you.
Yeah, we do, and Dee does, because she's got this piece that was cut, and I did it out of white here just to show you, and you cut the two separate die cuts here, and they will fit behind there perfectly. You're just going to put it on there, and you're going to turn it until it fits just right, and take a moment to do that. I'm not doing that at this moment, but it does fit perfectly back there. And cut two of these, and they're going to fit perfectly behind those little flowers. That will back them, and that will be done. Just glue them in place.
Isn't that sweet? So easy to do and such a great look. Now this is the colorist papers, which has those wonderful dots and all, and again some of the dazzles. Also, on the center of those flowers, use the white jewel dazzles, both the jewel and the border around the edge.
Matches the Color Me papers perfectly.
Yeah, very nice.
And just beautiful.
Scrapbookers, I hope you're still watching, because you are going to love this. Isn't
that
this
wonderful?
Gorgeous?
So that is using those big sprays and then backing them with the little shadows, and what a beautiful look you have there.
Right.
Both of the sets were used here, the large set that has the large spray, and then the set that has the small spray with shadow as well.
And what I love is how Debbie interconnected them. So she just looped those together, and I think that's just really, really nice and easy to do.
Really
this
sweet.
is a fast scrapbook page.
And this is done on our new indigo blue papers and
Indigo lace.
Indigo lace papers, but they are lots of blue in there. I always think indigo lace, and really pretty doilies and lace dazzles added in there too. Perfect for that page.
So really gorgeous. Well, we have another card that is again combining the two dyes, and as you can see here now, this silver is embossing powder.
Is embossing powder. Now there's two ways to get that look. One, die cut it with metallic paper, or silver metallic paper.
Which would work.
Which would work and would be a very beautiful look. But you get a little bit more dimension if you take, just out of white cardstock, go ahead and die cut that. Then use Versamark all over the front of it, sprinkle it with silver fine metallic embossing powder, and then heat set it, and you get that gorgeous look.
But what's behind it, you might ask? And stickles is what we would say. Right. So here's the pink something, taffeta, or something.
So you can die cut this, and I did it out of pink just because I was doing that. You can put this on white cardstock or whatever. You've got your shadow that's actually going to get glued behind there. Once it's glued in place, then Susan went over it with the stickles. Now, that is one way to do it. Another way to do it is to take this, take your stickles, you've got your shadow, put the stickles all over the whole thing. Just cover it with stickles. That'd be a beautiful look. Let it dry, and then use it to back. I think either way would work.
Right. I think that if you put the stickles on here, you'd want to take a piece of scrap paper just to smooth it, or your finger, just to smooth
use
it
the
out.
new glitter kiss. That would be
that'd be
great
pretty too, wouldn't
just
it?
take your little sponge, go it across there. That would be
Yes.
gorgeous. So lots of different ways to get the same look.
And just beautiful. Isn't that just lovely? On the inside, again, one little one right there. And our use of dazzles to do the edges
On
and
the ruby rose
message.
papers, just gorgeous.
So, as you can see, Dee has been busy, but you know, the design team has not been slacking at all. And we have all 4 of them. They're in stock. They're ready for you.
And they're fun to play with.
Yes.
You can tell
Yes.
by what we came up with. They're fun to come up with different ideas and ways to use. And
And
we
I
show them to you.
And I certainly hope that Dee is working. Dee, are you working on new ones? Well, if
busy.
she is, we'll be having them for you here at Paper Wishes.